Hey, y'all, welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome to Live and Local Real Talk, where we will do what we can today to get you caught up on what the media says is going on around the globe, anything that we know about around these parts and the surrounding parts around here. We'll dig a little bit deeper and hopefully come up with something that we can tell you about. Along the way, since we have opinions about stuff, you'll likely hear that too. Here's what it gets. Here's the time. We're going to say it's going to be interesting. Now that we think you've had enough coffee, maybe a piece of pie or some kind of pastry, we'd like to hear what you think about the events that are going on. Yep, there will be some politics because, like an outhouse, that seems to draw a lot of flies. So on this Friday Eve, a term, what are you laughing at? A term that we stole from our very good friend, the Donkey Man, without even hesitating to steal it. We're going to get things rolling. The last day of the 7th month, another summer and another year almost shot. I'm the mean one, a.k.a. Rayford Brown. In the center ring right here we have
Chris Marks.
And on my extreme left, we have the right-leaning
Lee Barrows. Batter up.
She leads with her right.
Let's go.
Not sure about y'all, but I about froze my butt off yesterday for a while. Oh, yeah. One time the temperature outside the studio reached about 90 degrees, not for long. Then it started dropping by comparison. It was a rather cool day. It got down into the upper 70s here for a while yesterday. Yeah. Well, man, I don't know what happened. And then there was this morning.
It was a cold front, Rayford. That's what happened.
Then there was this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Came out of nowhere.
Well, yeah.
Well, it came from somewhere.
I saw it, but I didn't see it until one of the guys this morning told me when I checked in with one of the ham guys, Lee, the other Lee. He's in there in Back Swamp, abbreviated BS. But Lee's in Back Swamp, and he said at about quarter till 6, I think it was, whatever time I was talking to. It was 77 and it had just stopped raining. He had 0.43 inches. It only rained for 10 to 15 minutes. Holy mackerel. Wasn't raining here at all. It did pick up a little while.
I got rain.
Here at the studio, it was 74 degrees at that time. It's down to 73 now. And we've had 0.07 inches of rain. We had a quick shower, fairly brief, but it was enough to get the ground wet.
I heard you fellas all giving their reports this morning, and all of a sudden I heard this noise, and it sounded like wind. You know, I told you with my metal roof, it's hard to hear.
Oh.
And I looked out the window, and it was pouring.
Oh, yeah.
So in just like 5 minutes, I got 0.24, and then it stopped.
Yeah, Randy over there in Southwest, it had been raining, but he didn't give me the total amount, the updated amount. I'm going to listen, see if he pops it in here anytime now. But he had 76 degrees, and it was still coming down to where he was there at Southwest early this morning. Over, Leah told you about Joe down in the borough. Nothing, no rain, 0. Temperature 78 degrees, and we just heard from Dale a couple minutes ago. He's over there around River Bend, not across from Baker's Cafe area, for you folks who don't know where it is. 76 degrees and 0.4 inches, 0.4 of an inch of rain. So he and Lee got about the same thing. I would not be surprised if Randy, when it was all over with, he had pretty close to the same thing too. So there in Southwest,
I probably did on Roadstown.
Mm-hmm.
Enough to
you
pull out.
Did.
Well, pulled out enough. It was enough to pull out my rain suit.
Oh yeah, really?
My golf rain suit, and then took it
Why
off.
Do you have a golf rain suit? Golfers don't play in the rain, do they?
Rain suit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They're crazy.
You know, golfers are like fishermen. So let me explain something to you. A guy who works construction, when it's deer season.
Yeah.
Because my dad was in construction, right? He and his 2 brothers owned the company. They come in anytime during deer season. It's kind of looks like it might rain out here today. Maybe we ought to take the day off. They go to the woods. You go to the woods and hang out on a deer stand somewhere.
Yeah.
All day long, and it might be raining, but you can't go do whatever. They give up a day's pay when they do that. Same thing for fishing.
Same for golfing.
Apparently. I've seen guys over here at the golf course pouring rain, and they stand out there holding an umbrella and hitting a golf ball. They got somebody else holding the umbrella for them. Then they had the golf ball. What happens to the poor guy that's holding an umbrella? He gets wet?
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's why they're the caddy.
Well, if you're getting paid to do
Why is a
it.
cad?
Yeah.
Chump is what they should call them. Chumps.
Chumps?
Yeah. No,
Chump.
They'll bind anything, I guess. Anywho, it is a Thursday, and we welcome you all aboard. And our number, when hopefully you want to join in the mayhem, you feel free to do so at 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. Just prior to the show, both of these fine folks have been hearing me complain. Go figure.
What? No,
I've been
you
complaining.
never complain, Rayford.
What is this thing here called? Don't say what I call it. Just tell me what
It's a laptop computer.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't make enough Vaseline.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay.
Computers. The devil's work. I've got this one. It was used for beta testing. I know the guy that got it in, beta tested it. It was working fine when it was built. And they put all that stuff on it. What do y'all call it? Software?
Software.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And you embed other stuff in that software that I can't see, right? Why?
Well, we don't, but yes, somebody does.
Well, somebody speaking. Why? Why did they do that? Put stuff in there that I can't see and get rid of. Answer me that. You can't.
Aggravation. I guess to aggravate us.
It's working. They just do not understand that the older we get, a life sentence isn't that important to us anymore. You understand?
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, people. Whoever does this, we've got the FDA. Oh God, that supposedly checks stuff that comes into this country and stuff that is manufactured in this country and grows in this country. They're supposed to verify that it won't cause us any harm, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a source of mental illness. These things here cause mental illness. Does anybody dispute that?
It's causing Chris and myself mental illness, I'll tell you that.
But you looked at it when you got here because you got a smart son.
Yes.
And he told you to come look in. What did we find? Stuff that we can't identify.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff on there. If you don't.
And this is one that was never put into real service. What are you looking at?
Somebody just sent me something for you.
Would that be that pop it out guy?
You know, we talk about the cloud and how we put things in the cloud.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here fussing about the computer and everything. No, that's
Fix this computer right here.
no,
Y'all
that's
got this?
give my phone back.
That's our phone.
That was a good one.
Could act. And that's it's not funny, Rayford, especially in your case. But there's people that actually put this stuff on their phone.
Love it, Chris.
They are dumb. They are dumb.
Yeah, your phone has.
No wonder they have to get so many phones all the time, right?
I'm
No wonder
stressed.
if they misplace if they go to the bathroom and they don't know where it is, they will leave the bathroom without taking care of business and go find their phone and bring it to the bathroom so they can finish doing their.
Do you know that's
reason
the
they were
worst
there.
place to
Is
take
that-
your phone?
Is that not true?
Yes, true, but do you know? I mean, that's the worst. You think of all the bacteria that's on your phone from taking it into the bathroom. Okay, you're using the bathroom. Picture this: you get done, you're flushing the potty. You get
God
up,
willing.
you pick up your phone, and you put it in your pocket or whatever while you wash your hands. Now you've got bacteria on your phone.
You take your phone in the bathroom?
I don't take it in the bathroom.
Oh, I don't take it in the
After
bathroom.
dropping it in the commode several times, I learned my lesson.
But you take it on your lawnmower, right?
Not anymore. I learned that
Why
lesson
not
too.
anymore?
There's a question for our listeners. Do you take if you have a cell phone, and you probably do?
Who doesn't have a cell phone?
But you know,
There's
it
smart
is,
people out there,
it
so
is-
therefore there are not that many smart people left. Go ahead.
it is aggravating though. As soon as you get into the bathroom and you sit down, your phone's ringing in the other room. That is
I don't
aggravating.
always sit down when I go to the bathroom.
Well,
They have to.
Y'all work your way out of this one, would you?
They have to. God, my dad got rest
We
his soul.
don't have to, but it works better for us.
Okay, my dad's construction company decades ago.
We gotta change this. Oh, good God.
One of the several of the Jones Funeral Home that they built was where it is now, but it was a very small thing. And then sometime in the '60s, they built another one there, and he's since built one other one since then in the '80s, I think it was, or '90s. But anyway, that's when they provided ambulance service as well.
Mhm.
Jones Funeral Home. And they had one man on duty all night long at Jones Funeral Home.
Yeah.
I guess he was a watchman, but I'm not sure what he was watching. But anyway, he was also to answer the phone. They didn't have a call or forwarding or whatever. And you could buy a service that would answer it for you, but they chose not to. They wanted somebody there anyway. So he would answer the phone. That was the first. And when they built the place, he had said, "Come here, let me show you something." There was a phone mounted on the wall in the bathroom.
Mhm.
So that when in the middle of the night or whenever this guy was there all alone, well, mostly all alone, but he was the only one who could answer the phone. If he was making a head call, there's no caller ID or call waitings, or he could answer the phone when he was in the bathroom.
What was the whole purpose of that?
About phones in the bathroom. That phone was always in the bathroom.
So it was mounted.
Has anybody else ever mounted a phone in the bathroom?
No.
That would be the. I mean, that was, to me. It was funny.
I would say those people that have mansions, the upper echelon.
We had an intercom system on the house we built.
We did too.
Hey, bring some toilet paper. No, we had an intercom system throughout the house, the one we built over here in Wolfswang back in the day.
So 10 minutes into the show, we found out that some people have intercom systems, some have phones mounted on
Some
the wall.
people sit, some people stand.
And we still haven't fixed the problem that I have over here with this device.
God, good. I'm going to fix that problem for you today.
She's getting run over it.
I won't be able to access the
Chris.
time.
Right. I don't think so.
Whatever.
That's how I fixed a brand new printer I once bought. Right out the door, down the driveway.
So I got another one under here that's got to be repaired too. You got to understand that? And you see the one over there that I repaired?
I saw where
Did you
you
see the
were
one over
repairing it.
I worked on that one to the point that because it had served its purpose over there.
I can see
But
that.
I wanted the hard drive out of it because they have lots of good stuff on it. And it's a very nice hard drive. It's a 2 terabyte solid state hard drive. Nothing wrong with the hard drive. You know where that is? I bought one of those little devices that you can plug the hard drive into and plug it into a USB port. And I have that hard drive available to me to add to or take stuff off of it that's already on there without transferring it over. Makes sense, does it not?
Yeah.
See, I did something smart.
I just go out and get a new laptop.
But then I would clog that one up.
This one has nothing on it because I bought this one, which is a cheapie, just to leave it here. That's it. There's nothing on it.
Does it have a password to get into it?
Yes, it does. It has a passcode. You can try. It'll take you a while. In fact, I need to change it from a 4-digit to a 6-digit. And that's
I got
something.
to go get my pepper spray. I'll be right back. I can't believe I could get that passcode.
That's something that security experts tell you. If you have the option to go to a 6-digit security code, you're better off than 4-digit.
That's only 9,999 tries to get the other one.
Should we tell them about end-to-end encryption?
No, don't even start. It took a while to teach how to go to your startup
encryption
files.
sounds kind of dirty.
It's another one of their evil necessities.
You know,
What I said.
can we just, I'm going to change everything right here. Yesterday, I failed to tell you and get the opportunity, and it's a day late, to
Well, then
wish
it's-
our mayor a happy birthday. Happy
okay,
birthday,
okay.
Sammy, a day late.
Well, no, you're 364 days early.
There you go.
You're the first one to wish him a happy birthday for 2026.
Yeah.
Hey, Sammy.
And about 12 hours Just a little about 12 hours past due for wishing Kelly and Robin a happy anniversary.
Oh yeah, happy anniversary.
Kelly
Yeah.
survived another
I
one.
forgot that was their anniversary.
Happy anniversary. Yeah.
I tell y'all, I just don't get on social media much. I mean, I get on there for the station, and every now and then I'll post something on my page, but I don't go through the pages anymore. I
I
haven't
even
sick
looked
of
at
social
ours,
media.
so I don't have a computer that I can count on. Since some
You got your phone. Don't you have Facebook on your phone?
hell no.
I did it last night to send Michael Jordan a request.
For what?
For?
Reach across America.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe we were
you got
getting
that
a bus.
$80 billion yacht. You can afford it. You can finish up this thing in a heartbeat, Michael.
Well, after all the buses he gave UNC, the Tar Heels,
Mhm.
yeah, we could have
Michael,
a
let me
bus.
talk about back of New Hanover Memorial Hospital. You listening?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Yeah.
keep it to myself, Michael. Boy, I just
You want
started
to hear a
rumor,
funny
didn't I?
story about my encounter with him?
Yeah.
This is a funny story. Well, it was funny to me. Way back in the day when we were doing so much security, and the Tar Heels came to Jacksonville High School for a fun game.
The seniors
Yeah.
tour.
It was, and they came out and they were playing basketball and everything. And of course, we were hired, and so to do bodyguard services so much. And so I'm standing by the locker room as they're entering, and I guess I was in his way, and he just picks me up, sets me over here, and I'm like, I mean, the man is tall.
Uh-huh.
I look like a child next to him, but he
Uh-huh.
just picks me up and puts me over here, and I'm like, okay,
Better than
was
blocking you.
all is good.
He's 6'6". You're
5'5".
nothing.
5'5".
Okay, out
I
there,
used
well, let's go to Arkansas first. The
Yes.
police out there have arrested a dude, accusing him of the double homicide of a man and his wife in front of their children, preteens, last Saturday.
Hang on.
He's 28 years old, James Andrew McGann. We'll get into a little bit more about him in a second. He's accused of killing Clinton Brink, who's 43, his wife, 41-year-old Kristen. They hike with their daughters, 7 and 9. He's being charged with 2 counts of capital murder. He's innocent until they prove him guilty and execute him. Fox News affiliate out there reports that McGann was working at a local school. Let me do that again. McGann was a school teacher in Arkansas, and had recently moved to the area. Police said that McGann was formerly employed at Spring Creek Elementary School in Broken Arrow during the 2023-24 academic year, and was listed on the Sand Springs public website as an employee. His name appeared to have been removed as of early today. He was arrested for the murders at Devil's Den State Park. 5th grade teacher. They say he left of his own accord to work out of state. In other words, you need to leave now or we're going to fire you. He was subjected to and passed the required background checks prior to being hired, so apparently there is supposedly nothing in his background. I tell you, I'm not saying this about their system or their background checking system or anything else, but Robin, you run background checks. Jack, you've run background checks. I've run background checks. I ran background checks after I left law enforcement on people that had already passed background checks. One for the public school system in New Hanover County. He lied to me when he applied for a job. I found out about it, and I found out that in that time that he said he was in Vietnam, he wasn't. He was in the brig, stateside. Okay, claimed he got shot in Vietnam. Okay, no, we weren't even in Vietnam the time he claimed he was there. He was in a brig, and he was never there.
Mm.
So, but he passed the background check, and he got caught with some underage girls. You should have listened to me. You should have let me run your background checks. I I don't put a lot of faith in a lot of those background checks. I just don't do it.
I know.
You guys read more about him, right?
Well, yeah, I know they got him when they arrested him when his haircut. Not that mattered, but they had a sketch of him.
Yeah.
And that helped get to him. But I think he's going to end up, if he's found guilty, end up like that dentist that killed his wife with poisoning. Who got. He wanted an immediate sentence from the judge, and she gave it to him. Life in prison without the benefit of parole.
Which is a fallacy.
That's what they're doing in order to not have to go to the hearing for sentencing and the chance that they'll get the death penalty. But yeah, he'd been poisoning her for years.
I will say
guilty.
Let me go on a limb here. I will say that those who are sentenced to life parole will be more likely to have their sentence changed at some point in time before he would have been executed if he had been given death penalty.
Because all their state legislature has to do is change the rules, change the law.
All they got to do is say, this is cruel and unusual. This is not the way we meant it to be.
Yeah.
And I think somebody who served 20 years, that's long enough for a life sentence.
They could say, a life sentence is too harsh and cruel. We're going to say a max 10 years, 15 years, 20 years.
They can do that.
They can. Like Idaho can do the same thing.
Yep.
Even though Kohlberger waived his right to appeal, by law, he can still appeal.
He doesn't have to appeal. If they get out there and a legislature, they change it,
right,
then it automatically would be up for parole. Could be. I mean, things like that happen. I'm going to go back to 1967, right here in Jacksonville. And the 16-year-old, when he was 16 the year before, in 67, he was 16 or 15. He killed a girl, raped her, killed her. He pleaded guilty. If you pleaded guilty in those days, they took the death penalty off the table. Even though you're 16, you were eligible to get zapped in those days, okay? But they take the death penalty off the table if you plead guilty. He pled guilty, pleaded guilty, whatever, to both. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences to be served concurrently. That was mistake number 1. A life sentence at that time, once you serve 20 years, you can apply for parole. He applied for parole, and at age 37, he was released. Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
He's released. There have been people who have, at age 37, have retired from the military because they went in early. At age 17.
Yes.
Did you know that?
My dad went in, he was 16.
Yeah. There have been people who can serve 20 years and be out when they're 37, 36 years of age or good at that time. And this guy he kills a girl, fessed up to it. Brutal, too, by the way. Extremely brutal. I knew her. Extremely brutal. So anyway.
Let's see if they came back with a verdict on the honor killings.
I don't have a lot of sympathy for these individuals. I have zero sympathy for these individuals and your families. I would love to know what his background was. That other individual I was talking about, he was such an angel. He had never heard him fly until Chief Cook told me after I joined the Jacksonville Police Department, hey, you were in school with this guy. And I said, well, I was in school ahead of this guy. He said, they said he was an innocent guy. I said, yeah.
Well,
he said put a lighter fluid on a cat because he lived next year.
we're
and set him on fire when he was even smaller. So
we're going to talk about setting people on fire.
Taking him down then. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's do some quick weather. Cold front will affect the waters today and push through the area tomorrow. High pressure will build in from the north through the weekend with the front stalled offshore today out to 20 nautical miles. Wind's going to be from the southwest. I would probably pick today, y'all, tomorrow at the latest. Southwesterly 5 to 10, seas only 2 feet. Sounds and rivers of light chop. Tomorrow, Southwesterly winds 10 to 15, 2 to 4 feet. Sounds and rivers of moderate chop. Saturday, northeasterly winds 15 to 20 with gusts of 25 in the afternoon. It's going to be blustery, seas 2 to 4 feet and building. Sounds and rivers choppy.
Hey, today will be partly sunny with a high near 93. Heat index values as high as 103. Showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Some of these storms could produce heavy rainfall. Calm wind becoming 5 to 7 miles per hour this afternoon. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 75. Friday, high near 92 with a 90% chance of rain and thunderstorms. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 84. Now, did you just hear what I said about Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
A chance of showers, cloudy with a high near 84. Now, I want to what the weather actually says. This is why I go back and edit what I say.
Right? They say it's going to be 920
Listen to
degrees
this
and
for
no chance of
Saturday.
rain.
Keep up now. A chance of showers before 8 a.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m., then showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm after 2 p.m.
Good chance of rain, y'all.
That's
Some
why
of
I
it will
go
come down in
back.
the shower. Some of it's going to come down with some boomers going.
That's why I go back and take out all that because it's going to rain.
That's
Okay.
what I do with the. I have to interpret
Yes.
because sometimes I know what the marine weather, what they mean when they type some of this stuff. Y'all might not, so I kind of make it English or
Mhm.
my version of English, which is not really English. It's me, but I try to put it into language that we can understand. I learned a long time ago, back in the DP days, I had a consultant, quote unquote, consultant, only one I've ever had that I liked.
Right.
He said, we got a group of people out there that at 6 o'clock, because that was the newscast that we all counted on to begin with. That was the money cast, right?
Yeah.
That's when the most people were watching TV, watching news on TV in those days. And before the days of 24/7, we lost it then. But when he said that there's a group of people out there that have been working their butts off all day long. They get up early, they go to work, they come home, they sit down and they get ready to eat supper sometime after 6 o'clock. Some eat earlier. They get home sometime after 5. They generally work until 5 o'clock. They get home. First thing they do, grab a six-pack, go to their chair, sit down and watch the news at 6 o'clock. So they're Joe Six-Packers.
Yeah.
These are the people we're talking to. Not that they're dumb.
Mhm.
We just got to break it down so they can understand what we're saying in English, their version of English. So they're not dumb. They're not ignorant. They are worn out from being on the job all day long. Construction workers or
Oh.
anybody in an office, same thing. That matters no difference whether you are mentally and
Yes.
you're doing more work in one place than you are the other, but both of them, you're physical. Because when you're working your brain,
It's physical.
that becomes very physical with the stress, the strain, and your tension on your body.
Very much so.
You know what causes stress?
I don't stress.
You know what
I
the definition of stress is?
Oh, do tell.
Cleaned up version.
Yeah.
It's the result of having the overwhelming desire to beat the crap out of somebody
Yeah.
who richly deserves it, but you don't do it. That is what stress is.
So
Yes,
I don't stress. So that means
'Cause
I'm
you don't-
missing the chance.
No,
to,
you don't have the overwhelming desire to do something like I just
Oh.
said. Those with the overwhelming desire to whomp up on somebody who should be whomped up on,
Yeah.
but you back off and don't do it, you go for the rest of your day like that. Stressed up. Hey, how
I'll
you
be
doing?
glad when your computer gets fixed.
Which one?
All of them. Whatever. Just get them fixed.
You know, I found a box
Oh, I know.
that doesn't have anything but the computer stuff in it.
Right.
That's what they're making for people like me, apparently. I don't need another. I don't need
Computer for
another
dummies.
monitor. I don't need another keyboard. Look around you. I
You've
have
done it
monitors
now.
you do.
to the left of me
You have
because they all came with a monitor
done
and a
it now.
keyboard. So, and you can buy a keyboard for what, $2?
Yeah.
You buy it for $1 on eBay. But so if I had needed one, I could do that.
Get your touch screen. Oh, I could see you doing that. Oh, Lord, no. Mm-mm.
Don't
touch
leave my
screen?
fingerprints on anything.
You know, and with the keyboard. Chris, can you see him?
Yeah. Well, first off, Rafer would have gloves on, so as not to leave fingerprints.
I don't want my
He don't
prints
want his
anywhere.
fingerprints anywhere.
Well, take a lighter.
No,
No.
don't.
I've got every morning before I come in here. I put
Wax.
no. Oh no, heavens no. I use super glue, just a little thin layer of super glue. It comes off later off with that the stuff you ladies use for your fingernail polish. What is that called?
Acetone.
I got a big can of it in there,
I use that for
and I don't have any fingernail
taking
polish.
paint off furniture too.
Folks,
So.
910-333-0139.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
all right.
How soon
no,
do
call
Chris
us.
calls? Let me
Yeah.
see.
Y'all
Yeah,
call, but you better bail these guys out. Otherwise, I'm going somewhere. I got somewhere else to go.
8:00. 8:00. Sports editor, the Daily News. Chris Miller.
An
What do you call it?
illegal immigrant facing murder charges in Kentucky. Did you see about this one? Illegal
I
immigrant
don't
faces
think
murder
so.
charges in Kentucky. Investigators say I don't know why this one's not at the top like the others. Investigators say he shot and killed a 15-year-old Kentucky teenager who tried to stop him from raping his mother.
Oh my God.
36-year-old
Evil.
Gildardo Amador Martinez, a Mexican citizen, is accused of murdering his girlfriend's son, Luis Jackson Nanez Lopez, when the teen tried to intervene in a July 20th attack against his mom. The teen's younger sister was also assaulted and injured. Federal authorities did not mince their words in describing this tragedy. From the Department of Homeland Security, they say 15-year-old Luis Lopez died trying to save his mother from this criminal illegal alien who was attempting to rape her. Martinez is a rapist and a cold-blooded killer who should have never been allowed in this country. The investigation reveals that on that evening, Martinez came from a bar about 2:30 in the morning. He attempted to have sex with his girlfriend without her consent. She screamed while trying to stop him. 2:30 in the morning, keep that in mind. Her teenage son came into mom's room to ask her if he should call the police. Martinez told Lopez to leave. His mother said they would talk about it in the morning. Martinez grabbed a suitcase to leave the apartment, thought about it, grabbed a pistol, and fired through a door 3 times, hitting Lopez and his sister.
Wow.
According to ICE, Martinez attempted to enter the United States via the southern border 3 times. I want to go what year? 2021.
And does that surprise
He
me?
successfully entered illegally on his 4th attempt. ICE has a detainer hold placed on Martinez in case some judicial or political hacks decide to cut him loose to await his trial. No need to laugh. It's happened in other parts of the country.
Lake and Riley.
Is more close to home. Isn't that one of the bills that Stein vetoed and then got overridden?
Yes, and it got overridden, yes.
Just saying.
You talking about
Cooperating with ICE,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
the bill that was adopted by the House and the Senate,
Mm-hmm.
and that he overrode, said that our local law enforcement and whoever cannot not assist ICE or any other federal officer. First of all, unless it has changed, and I doubt it has, it may have, under North Carolina general statutes, if a law enforcement officer with jurisdiction asks you, or ask me to assist him or her in the performances of his duty at a certain time, you are required by North Carolina general statutes. They were at that time. That could have changed since '84. Okay, I don't know. I haven't looked it up. Required you to assist said law enforcement officer. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You were required to help him. And if you did not, you would be arrested for not going to the aid of a guy who's requested your assistance. Interesting. So, in other words, if anybody in North Carolina refused to assist ICE, a federal officer, didn't say a North Carolina officer, he said a law enforcement officer, you could be arrested for it. You should be arrested for it. I'll bet you that gets somebody's attention, Mr. Mayor, Ms. Mayor, Mr. Whoever, wouldn't it?
So much evilness in this world, and I know you're going to talk about what happened yesterday in Virginia, but real quick, when we were talking
let
about
you talk about that because that made me mad.
overriding bills and stuff,
Yeah.
yesterday it went into law, House Bill 193 that the governor vetoed, and it was overridden by our state legislatures, which allowing is now law allowing private schools to permit teachers, parents, or volunteers to carry guns on campus and essentially function as security guards.
Private schools.
Private schools.
Okay.
Which
Yep.
in most cases, you wouldn't need them. And I speak from experience in that. You won't need them
Right.
in a private school.
No, doesn't get enough attention.
No.
Yeah, it becomes law December 1st. I'm sorry.
Now, here's the
No, you're fine.
here's something. Even in the old, it used to be illegal to carry a concealed gun, right? Unless you were a cop. Period. Bottom line. That was the bottom line. Unless you were in your home or you were at your workplace. If your employer asks you to provide security or to work in here or gives you permission to carry your gun while you're working at his place of your place of employment where he owned or ran, they could give you permission, and therefore that was one of the things in the North Carolina carrying a concealed weapon law originally that made it okay. So basically, this does the same thing because if they give them permission and act as a security guard, it didn't say anything for pay. That rule right there says they can carry one there.
I mean, and referring to what you were talking about, the
With or without a
immigration
permit.
enforcement,
Yes.
which the governor vetoed that,
Which I can't do
but
that.
we overrode it.
Right.
Well, our legislatures.
Y'all remember that when he comes
Did.
up for re-election, right?
Yeah.
Well, they just put in one knucklehead after the other.
Uh-huh.
Well, House Bill 318,
Because the
known as
Republicans don't run somebody who should be elected.
they also overrode this one, they overrode it. It's becoming law. House Bill 318, known as the Criminal Illegal Alien Enforcement Act. The law requires sheriffs to notify the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement when inmates are subject to immigration detainers. The House voted 74-46 to override the governor's veto, following a similar vote in the Senate, which means there was quite a few Democrats that crossed over.
Well, they didn't cross over. They voted as North Carolinians should vote.
They crossed over from party lines, but you're right. They voted as it's nice to see them coming together and putting their concerns and their votes based on what's best for
So
the
do you
people
suppose
of
some
North
of
Carolina.
those Republicans who were tried to censor our senator?
Don't get me
Tillis,
started on that. I'm
because
still
he-
mad over that.
He was one that would assist and get the assistance of Democrats
Mm-hmm.
to help
Yeah.
get bills through,
It
make it
always-
the law.
Yeah.
And they went crazy on that. Do you think they will go crazy on these Republicans who managed to get some Democrats to come over and vote for this? Do you think that would happen?
Well, and that's why. Oh, that
They're
makes me
two-faced.
so mad.
Two-faced.
Because-
Come on.
You want to be a Republican, be a Republican. If you want to be a Democrat, be a Democrat. But because your congressman or your senator doesn't vote the way you think he should vote, you don't put knives in his back. If you have concerns, send him an email. But right away, so many of the parties, including a local party, we're going to censor Tom Tillis because he didn't kiss the ring. I mean, really? Look
You know
what all
why?
he has done.
You know why these people stab them in the back, like you just said? Because they do not have the guts.
Yeah, be
to do it
careful
in the
what you
front.
wish for.
They're
Be careful
gutless
what you
wonders
wish
out
for.
there.
I'm not saying I've agreed with everything he's done, just like I've
I
not
don't either. I
agreed
told you that.
100% with what Murphy's done. And I respect Greg Murphy to the max.
I don't agree with 100% of what I do.
don't agree 100% with what Mike Johnson does in D.C. Yeah, Speaker of the House. And definitely nothing that Nancy Pelosi's ever done. But, I don't agree with everything Trump does. But does that mean we ridicule them? We call them rhinos? We throw them under the bus? Well, let's get somebody new in. Well, you know what? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you what.
Right now,
Roy Cooper's got some strong adversaries.
y'all should have seen that coming. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been
Duh.
in the works for quite some time. So now, unless there's a really strong, I'm going to tell you right now.
We talked
And
about it a year ago.
And my predictions come true quite often, unfortunately. If there's not a really strong Republican that everybody in North Carolina can get behind, the majority of the people in North Carolina will
Right.
get behind, which is going to require Democrats to get on board too.
Right.
You understand that?
Right.
If there's not somebody out there running that can gather that kind of attention and support, guess what we get to call the former governor of North Carolina?
Well,
we
I'm
get to
still
call him
waiting to
senator.
see
That means he
if-
gets defeated the public trough twice, doesn't he?
I'm
Retired
still
governor,
waiting. Yeah.
retired senator, whenever he retires. Oh yeah, that would
Well,
be.
he's won his last 4 elections, twice as attorney general and twice as governor. And remember a year ago where
He
we
didn't
were
deserve
talking
either.
about all his trips to Massachusetts and up north
Of course.
with big money people?
Need the money. Need the money.
Look,
Pass me the
in
money,
less
honey.
than 24 hours after he announced his intention to run for that Senate seat,
Ding, ding,
he
ding,
raised
ding, ding.
$3.4 million.
I could buy that new boat that I want with that.
Yeah,
And have money left.
have
Have money left over.
I'm gonna have to call
Yeah.
Roy and ask him for a donation.
Yeah, I do that.
God, I mean,
For the right amount of money, Mr. Cooper, I'll vote for you to be senator.
it was like Walter Jones. People would get so mad
lie
because
with the
he
best
would
of
vote against a bill
Yeah.
when most all the Republicans up there in D.C. were voting for it.
And Walter told me and told everybody, listen, I can't support that bill because they put all this other garbage in there.
That's right.
There were a couple of bills that came up that he wrote that he would not support.
On page 633, there's something in there that's going to harm our veterans or our people of North Carolina. I'm not voting
He
for
wouldn't
it.
support it.
So every time it came time for re-election, did you see the number of people that I'm gonna run? Did you see what Walter Jones won by every election?
Yeah. Huh.
Anywhere from 65 to 70-something% of the votes.
Okay.
I've said before, and let me just say my
You're
point on this is that we have a wonderful representative. He came in here and spoke to us, Wyatt Gable.
Yes.
Oh,
Just
yes.
graduated in May from East Carolina. God bless
It's
him.
just amazing.
Yeah, it really is. But the people like Cooper, these other individuals, we chatted last night about the DMV and who's overseeing that right now. And where I'm going with this is what I said before, and I'll say it again. It will take a business person to straighten out the government
Yes.
on the state and on the
Right.
national level. You look at our Senator Mike Lazara.
Right.
He's a businessman
Yes, yes.
Was and is.
and still is
He
a
is,
businessman. Harry Brown,
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yeah, he
businessman.
worked on Court Street at the Playboy Club. No, seriously. No, I live at the Playboy store.
Of all the things you could talk about him working at,
Well,
did he
about
work
that.
at clothing store too?
That was a clothing store.
Foster's, wasn't it
I
Foster's?
don't know whether they worked at Foster's or not, but the Playboy store or whatever they call it, Playboy something, was a clothing store.
It's a clothing store.
but now it seems like unless you're an attorney, I'm not going to pick on Dr. Murphy, but an attorney, or you've got a lot of money, you just don't stand a chance to beat these people. There's no way to beat them.
That's
There's
right.
There's
That's right.
just too much money.
Well,
If Chris Marks went out there right now and went to a door-to-door campaign
Good luck.
and tried to beat Roy Cooper,
I have a very good friend that this was back 2 cycles ago, I think, that had decided he wanted to run against Greg Murphy. And I'm like, no, let's sit down and talk. First of all, you need a couple million just to open up your
Yeah.
campaign finance account. And you're going up against it. And this is a great guy. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
And Greg Murphy, in my opinion, is too. But you just can't decide you're going to run for something
No.
like that. You've got to have the backing. You've got to have the political action committees. You've got to have everybody knowing who you are. You've got to have those behind you that are secretly going to help push you, cautiously. There's a whole lot more than just running. And that's like, I looked up what Cooper still had in his campaign finance.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that last week.
Mhm.
It was close to $1 million already, because you open up your campaign finance account like you're running for governor. And then, like, say, now you're going to run for state senator. All you do is change the title. Your campaign finance is still there. And you don't have to spend all the money in it during an election cycle. You can let it sit there if you plan on using it further down the road. And that's what he did already. And then in 24 hours from announcing, $3.4 million he raised in 24 hours. You add it to the almost million he had. He's got $4.5 million already. And it's not been, what, a week since he announced, a couple days.
It's 18 months until the election.
Yes,
or
in 18
16
months.
or whatever it is.
This is going to, mark my words, this is going to be the most expensive election that you will see in the
Mhm.
United States, the most money spent.
Now, we think we know one guy that's toying with the idea because he's being pushed to do it
Yes, he is.
by the president and
In the
others.
United States.
The president
yes.
wants a man in Senate that is the president's man.
Right.
That's going to be probably one thing that could get him elected, but one of the worst reasons to do it.
If I was him, I'd say, I'm going to stay right where I'm at.
No, you won't. Not if
But see, the problem is, if you've got the
not if Trump
president,
doesn't want you to.
that's the whole
Trump brought him
point.
in. Trump can take him out.
What choice does he have?
None.
He's got to, well, hopefully maybe by the end of this week, we'll hear an announcement soon. They don't have to announce yet,
No.
but
these guys who want to run, I applaud you for it. But as Lee has pointed out, you can't run by yourself. Gone are the days of stumping. Do y'all know what stumping was and where the term came from?
Yep.
They went from village to village to village to village to village, still on the
Right.
nearest stump that, where they cut trees down to build the bar. Generally, they were stumping outside a pub, to be honest with you. And that's the way they would do it. And when railroads came around, they would go from train station to train station doing the same thing. Whistle stops, they called them. Those are gone. First of all, they could tell different stories at every stop. And they didn't get back.
Yeah.
Nobody knew the difference. I could sell in this stumping village number one, I could sell them everything that I wanted to tell them that I was going to do for them. And down the road, I'd tell them the same thing and do not anything for anybody if I'm elected. But gone are those days. You got to have a team behind you. And that word team,
Mhm.
you're going to have, you cannot be everywhere. You can get on the TV, you can get on the radio. You can sell a polished candidate with all the makeup and the glamour and everything else there is going in 60 seconds. You can run a series of spots that will cost you a couple of $1 million. I'm talking about regional wise.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much to run on every TV station in prime time, at the prime time, and news time. It costs money, but it'll cost you some money to do that. And you can be polished. We see through that these days. We're beginning to see through it. First of all, if you're not doing television interviews, like morning shows, if you're not available for that kind of stuff, or talk radio, where whatever you have said is going to be, you're going to be asked about it. You're going to be challenged. Not in a bad way. We're not going to be accusing you, or TV's not going to be accusing you unless we got the goods on you. Then by that time, as one gentleman burned last go around, it was over before it got started in here. He still doesn't like me, I'm sure, right? But when you've got something to hide and you're not telling the truth and we find out about it, we'll ask about it.
Right, exactly.
We will give you, like we used to do in law enforcement, we give you the opportunity to lie. Because we already know what the truth is. We got the answer.
Well, going back to Tom Tillis, his remarks about Roy Cooper entering the race, he said publicly that that race is going to be like a knife fight in a telephone booth. Yeah, because of, and it's going to be one of the most competitive races of 2026. Mark my words. Roy Cooper already has a commercial out.
Yeah. Do it while you're young. So
And if you don't think
makeup.
he won twice as Attorney General, who would have thought? He won twice as governor. Who would have thought?
What did he do either time? In either
Veto
office?
everything. He's the most vetoed governor we ever had.
And then during his time as Attorney General, I had reached out to him several times with letters
Yes.
about the telemarketers.
And you got nothing.
And I got canned response. All you need to do is do this and do the caller. Do not call that. Yeah, no, I've already done that, Governor. I mean, Mr. AG, I've already done that. No, none of it's working. Well, we're doing everything we can, and when we find information and get information on them, we will prosecute them. How many did you prosecute in 8 years, Mr. AG? How many telemarketers have you ever prosecuted in North Carolina? God, that's quiet in here for some reason. What happened?
Crickets. Where's my cricket button now?
They wore it out. The crickets died.
Crickets died.
I've never met Roy Cooper. I never had conversation with him. We reached out a couple of times. That didn't work, so I just gave up. I didn't care.
Okay, in the last 40 years, there's only been 3 Democrats to take that U.S. Senate seat in North Carolina. All right, tell me who the 3 were. Ding, 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 ding.
No.
Terry Sanford.
No.
John Edwards. Kay Hagan. Ugh. They're the only 3 that have ever taken that U.S. Senate seat in North Carolina for the last 40 years. So I'm telling you.
But how long did they hold it?
Well, Edwards didn't hold it long because he decided he wanted to be vice president.
That was a stupid move on his part.
He decided
Especially
he
with his
wanted
baggage
the nanny.
Yeah.
on his wife's deathbed.
Yeah, him and John Edwards has got. Well, that's all personal stuff, but it does attest to his character.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That guy. Here's what attests to a character down in New Hanover County. When we watched the politicians come in, they would come in and like the 4th of July, they walk the beaches because there was always a beach cleanup. They wait for the cameras. They walk the beaches with the cleanup crew. It was always a staged event, and we all knew it, and that's the way it was. He always led the pack. There are others that did the same thing until they were no longer part of the political arena. And then we haven't seen them since. What was the last thing John Edwards did besides the nanny?
He did the nanny. Sorry, that was just wrong.
You're getting really sharp. You know that, don't you?
He did the nanny.
You're picking up on my innuendos.
I knew what you were doing.
Probably spend maybe some time in the courtroom as an attorney.
Yeah, he's
A
back.
lawyer.
Do you think he ever goes into the courtroom, or does he just do it? Somebody else does it for him and puts his name on it?
Probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing that we know anything about or the good for America or the state.
No.
Okay.
Let's see what John Edwards is doing. He's the attorney and founder of Edwards Kirby LLP.
Mr. Kirby, I'm glad you're in there to help him out because he's going to need it. I know there's a difference between Medicare and Medicaid. We've talked about it forever, never. Medicare is basically, under typical conditions, an insurance plan underwritten by the federal government for American citizens. All right?
Okay.
Medicaid is an insurance plan designed for citizens who have not reached Medicare age but have medical issues that they do not have funds to pay for. These are general descriptions, y'all. Just so that we can all basically understand it, staying out of the confusing weeds. Down there in Louisiana, did y'all pick up on this one?
Yeah.
A woman is facing felony charges after the state attorney general's office said she fraudulently obtained Medicaid benefits. She's only 35 while she had a business. Millions of dollars in business revenue. Ms. Candace Taylor of Slidell was arrested Monday by the Louisiana Board of Investigation The investigation started with a complaint from the Louisiana Department of Health claiming that Taylor committed Medicaid recipient fraud by underreporting her income to qualify for benefits. It's a wonder they checked, but they did. She stood out like a sore thumb when they started checking, though. Investigators say Taylor applied for Medicaid in May of 2019, 6 years ago, under the alias Candace Saylor, not Taylor, listing a biweekly income of $1,900 with no dependents. That application was denied. They said she made enough money, even at that rate. Less than a year later, she reapplied using the same alias and inconsistent information. Saylor, Taylor, like that wasn't going to attract attention in this day of computers, right? Well, between 2020 and 2024, Ms. Taylor is accused of misrepresenting, concealing, and failing to disclose financial information in order to receive government health care assistance. During that time, investigators say her various businesses generated more than $9.5 million in revenue across multiple accounts under her control. It doesn't mean she got that money. It does mean this, though. Despite claiming no income in 2020, investigators said Taylor's personal financial record showed more than $480,000 in deposits that year alone, personal account. That included expenditures such as over $45,000 in vehicle payments to Audi Finance, multiple six-figure cashier's checks used for property purchases, cosmetic surgery, and high-end jewelry. I'm betting the cosmetic procedures did not help her one bit. It gets better. She also reportedly wired $100,000 to an exotic car dealership and made a $13,000 debit card payment toward a 2022 Lamborghini, whatever it is, Urus or something. Now, that was in 2020 alone. In 2024, 2 months after purchasing the Lamborghini, Taylor applied for Medicaid benefits. At that time, she reported a $2,000 monthly income and failed to disclose her ownership of any businesses. Agents also reviewed Taylor's social media, where y'all are stupid. They found Facebook and Instagram posts showcasing all of her luxurious purchases. Following the investigation, agents secured an arrest warrant for Taylor on one count of government benefits fraud. 4 counts of felony stupidity.
And this is why the government is wanting to reform Medicaid.
Yeah, they want to get their hands around the. Yeah, you got to put a chokehold on some things from time to time. Yeah, just willy-nilly just handing it out because somebody applies for it. This woman bought a Lamborghini for $100,000. I'm sorry, that was the down payment on a Lamborghini for $100,000.
Speechless.
Well, there's a term there's a term that's used, and it was in a courtroom, and I was in there, and this is what a judge told me about the theft of cable.
Oh, God.
No, and this is kind of related to this. It is a victimless crime. That's what they say, and that's exactly right. And because you know what my response to the judge was, Your Honor, with all due respect, when you let people get away with doing this, it raises the rates of the people that pay their bills.
Your Honor, do you have cable? Because we're getting ready to raise your rates because somebody's got to pay for the cable that this person stole.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting ready. Hold that. We're getting ready to go all things sports.
Oh.
All things sports.
Well, then, let me give him his official introduction.
Are you ready?
We're ready. Pop that top.
Again. That's what they say at the beach, don't they?
Yeah.
Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning, my friend. How's everybody doing?
I don't know. We're just been busy. I guess should be arrested by now, right?
Yeah, yesterday was a little bit of a tiring day, but it was fun to be out there. Made quite a few different stops yesterday was the the first official day of high school football practice. We'll practice for all the sports, but the football is always always a very big deal. So made quite a few different stops: Jacksonville, White Oak, Richlands, East Duplin, and then Swansboro, Croatan, and Northside were a couple of my stops. Yesterday. So and then got some help with one of my photographers that's been helping me out the last year or so. He made the trip to Dixon and Southwest. So we got some great photos. So I'll be running them all each team during the different days in the print edition, but also everything's online now if people want to take a look.
That's all well and good, Chris. But what are y'all getting ready for here? Right?
Oh no, what are you getting ready
That's
for?
all well and good. You're doing a great job there, but you fell down here for me. You're not helping me out here. You should be, and you can get a ball cap and some sunglasses or whatever, and slide on over there to West Carteret and get the real info on who's what and who's looking good, and pass that along. If you don't want to pass it along to them, just say it on the air here how they're looking. We'll make sure it falls on the right
You
ears.
certainly want him to get fired, don't you?
Well, it's funny that you say that. Because they're I've never done anything, but Jacksonville High School practices on the big field that's right on the road, right on the road.
I know they do.
Yeah.
And there were times where people from the opposing team, more so the cronies, the fans and certain parents would park their car at that gas station and either break out binoculars and keep notes and seeing what they were doing, and so they were. I don't think they've really done that more. I think some of those people have gone and moved on, but there were rumors that people would do that, and the Jacksonville people were like, okay, fine, okay, you're gonna know what we do. You still have to stop us.
Well, I've come a lot further than that these days. Okay, first of all, I've got long lenses, but better than that, the accessibility of these little things go bzzz overhead, the drones. We can do spy drones.
I'm gonna have to go over to Walgreens with a good pair of binoculars. What are you doing? I'm checking out all the tight ends.
There's the Crunch
running
Gym.
Quarterbacks?
Let's go to the Crunch Gym parking lot.
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, that's a bigger parking lot.
Why are we gonna spy on our own team?
She wasn't. She was spying on the tight end. You missed that part.
Yeah, I know.
The running backs, the tight ends, the quarterback, or the kicker.
So now you got it.
I got it.
You got to think in the terms that she thinks in.
Hey, Rayford, are these the same people that have been peeping Tom in your fence, looking at you?
That would be fun for them, wouldn't it? If you're that close, I could reach you. You're not gonna like it.
Chris, don't you think it's your right if you have a privacy fence up in your backyard, yard, trees behind? Don't you think it's your right if you want to sit out in the buff? You should be able to do that without being spied on.
Well, I think you should be able to, but poor Rayford, I'm sure he has to fight the ladies off with the stick or something.
Well, actually, in their case, they generally reach in and they reach in and put a blanket over the fence so nobody can see in, and they don't want anybody to see.
Yeah, is that what all those tarps are?
Yeah, that's what they're all there.
The
and the trees.
Oh my gosh!
Let me ask something that's not football related. How was your vacation, Chris?
Yes.
Before you took the vacation because you knew that the next 10, 11, 15 weeks you're going to be busy.
I hope at least that long.
At least, yeah. How was your vacation?
It was good. We enjoyed a week off and just spent some time together as a family, and didn't really do anything major. Just went out and did some errands here and there, and just relaxed, slept in a little bit, and then like I said, just watched movies, relaxed, and enjoyed dinner together. So it was very nice not have the pressures of work, but and then Monday it was right back at it. So the struggle certainly was real Monday morning.
Oh, come on! Now here's what the people like Lee want to know. Did you get any smooching time in practice for your getting caught on camera at the ball game?
Yeah. Coldplay.
Well, I love my wife very much, and yes, I will. Anytime I get a chance to give her a smooch, I will. Whether it's at the house or
The
in public.
50-yard line, either one.
The 50.
I'm proud of my wife, and I love her very much, and she puts up with me. So I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah,
Aw.
gotcha. Well, good for you.
So am I.
All right, I have two questions, and first one is, and this one I think has been floating around off and on for a while, and I just saw it come across my feed last night saying it's been reported that North Carolina is believed to be seeking a departure from the ACC, the conference they have called home, with their eyes on calling the SEC their new conference, and I'm talking about UNC Tar Heels.
Mhm.
Any truth to that?
Well, I think there's truth that they're considering a move. They I think a few years ago they thought about maybe making a move to the Big Ten, which is up north where Ohio State and Michigan and everything, and some of those schools. But the SEC Southeastern Conference is one of the is the best college football conference in the country. So that's where the money is. So I'd hate for North Carolina to leave the ACC because North Carolina, Duke, NC State, they're ACC, Atlantic Coast Conference teams. And it just kind of, they go hand in hand. But I get it. I mean, money talks, and if you can have a chance to get a bigger piece of that pie and by playing Alabama's and, in schools like that in football, then, they'll take it. I mean, unfortunately, the basketball is going to suffer because, the ACC and, North Carolina basketball, that's what they're known for. But, North Carolina basketball hasn't really been relevant in the last couple years anyway. So, maybe a new change would do them good.
Yeah. How do they stand up typically year in, year out while competing in the ACC? I mean, they do very well in the ACC generally, right? But how?
Well, in football, it's kind of hit and miss.
Yeah, I would do football. I'd throw football and bust, but they're done for basketball. But how would they stand up under today's SEC? That would be with the teams that are in the SEC. Would it be like number 12?
Well, I would say, in basketball, probably about the same because the SEC is actually a pretty good basketball conference as well. So, again, I don't think they're really looking at it from a competitive standpoint. They're looking at it from a money standpoint. So, if we may lose by 40 to Alabama in football, but we're still going to get $80 million or whatever how much it's going to be. So they're looking at it more of a financial standpoint than an athletic standpoint, which I get because money is the root of all evil. But it's just going to be. It would be sad to see North Carolina or even Duke, NC State, schools like that, leave for a different conference. But we'll see how it goes here in the next couple of years or so.
Yeah, and for those advertising dollars and all that extra money you're talking about, when you're not winning, and you got a losing season after season after season, some of that money might drop a little bit too, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's going to take. I mean, they have to have some money to pay Bill Belichick. He's not cheap.
Well, here's my second question, Chris, and I hope I don't want to make this political, but what are your thoughts on President Trump urging the Washington Commanders to change their name back to the Redskins? From a world of sports, not politics.
Yeah, I don't really have a opinion one way or the other. I can understand arguments on both sides, and so I just wish they would finally just kind of make a decision and stick with it. And I don't really have a dog in the fight. I do know there's kind of probably more important things to worry about than than what the football team is calling itself. But we all know how President Trump is. He likes to poke the bear. He likes to stir the pot, and and I truly believe he does it. I think he does it on purpose. I think he tries to.
You think?
poke the bear, stir the pot on purpose, just to get people riled up, and maybe say or do some stupid things. And I mean, that a lot of times it works, and and it gets people talking. So, but I think there's a lot more important things to worry about. But I don't see the team changing name after after all the struggles the last several years with it. But we'll see how that goes.
Well,
Yeah,
I think you're kind of right there, but I think a lot of what he's doing is anytime he's taking on something that really, as far as the benefit of the country, other than a few people that may love the Redskins or whatever, or everybody loving the Redskins, whatever. A lot of it is a smokescreen. Keep your eye off the other ball that's in play.
Seriously?
You got to keep your eye off the other ball.
Yeah. And
we're getting a murder in here.
I
tell people this all the time, whether it's that or the, and people may disagree with me about this, and that's their right. They have their opinion. But when the kneeling during the national anthem and the Kaepernick thing several years ago happened, I tell people this all the time. You give the people more fuel, and you're validating them arguing by complaining about it. If you just ignore these people, if you just ignore Trump, if you ignore Kaepernick, you're not giving him any ammunition or fuel. Just ignore it, and they'll probably go away because people are not going to care.
Or do like I do with mosquitoes, swat them and kill them.
What?
I learned that if you just ignore something,
yes,
you're not
right.
giving those people the attention that they want. Just ignore them, and they'll go away.
How many of those people that took a knee would go out there on that ball field and take a knee when there's no crowd there? The answer would be zero.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
And like you said, and that's people have their opinion, and I respect that, and I'm not going to criticize them if they have a different opinion. I have mine, they have theirs, and if we agree to disagree, that's fine. There's no ill will.
Right.
Now, since you're here, your news and your sports, and sports is news, and what's in the news dealing with sports right now happened over the weekend in Manhattan, and a guy that claiming that he has mental issues, mental problems, or mental deficiencies, or he has some kind of an injury.
CTE.
His brain is broken.
CTE, and because of his days playing football, all those many years that he played football, and he wanted to go see the NFL folks up there. What I know, going through around the sports rooms, that's got to be some conversation.
Yeah, well, it is, and I'm sure the anti-football crowd, and you know who I'm talking about, is going to point to this one. See, I told you that football is the devil and it should be banned, and again, we're all having fun here, but on a serious note, our hearts break for those folks, the victims and the families that were affected by this, and it was unfortunate and a sad situation, and again, I just the situation kind of went about the wrong way. If you felt like you were suffering some damage by playing, well, there were some other avenues that you could have done instead of. I just think there's no there's no excuse for going up there and shooting people and and hurting civilians, or hurting innocent people. Hurting innocent people. So it was very unfortunate, and I just wish this person would have gone about it a more just a better way. I mean, was he suffering? We don't know. That's not that information has come out yet, but the person was smart enough to kind of figure out this whole plan by himself, apparently. So it was sad situation, and hopefully we can learn more from it, and then these things will unfortunately these shootings continue to happen. We at least get a couple of them year to year, but and I know that adds fuel to the anti-Second Amendment. It seems like we get into these arguments every few months or so.
Yeah, how prevalent are injuries like this that result in the issues, the CTE issues that he says that he has? I don't know how many people play football during their high school years. Do you have any clue in this country? Maybe as high school only. Just pick out high school only because that's when they start getting hit pretty hard, supposedly. How many people play over a 3-year period of time while they're in high school in the country? Do you have any clue?
Well, I don't have the exact numbers, but the football is still the number one participated sport in high school. Just bigger rosters, and I mean it's just a popular sport. So you are going to have a large number of kids, boys and girls play, and then obviously we have girls flag football that's kind of coming up too, which is again flag football. So but the numbers continue to stay at a high level. Look, players who played in the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even the 90s. Concussion protocol wasn't a big thing back then. The last several years, concussion protocol has been taken very, very seriously. These coaches and trainers and parents and administrators do a great job of making sure the health and safety is number one. And if the kid shows any kind of signs of head trauma or anything like that, they are removed and taken care of and addressed. If you look at some of the photos that I took yesterday, a lot of the players during practice are wearing those protective things over their helmets, the protective paddings over their helmets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe down the road, you're going to start seeing a lot more of those players wear those in games because they do help. So look, it is unfortunate that the concussion protocol wasn't taken as seriously, even 10, 15, 20 years ago, but it is now. And so you really don't get a true indication of where we are as far as injuries. We won't know that until another several years because of the data. But it continues. The coaches continue to do a great job, and here at the local level as well. And and just case in point, I went to White Oak High School yesterday, and they were leaving the field. I was like, Coach, why are you guys leaving the field? Oh, we're going to go to the gym. Well, why are you going to the gym? Well, because it's the weather concerns, the heat concerns. We don't want our kids getting sick and possibly getting hurt. So, it's hot, and I know people are going to scoff at that and be like, well, you're being wimp, you're being soft, but
no. They're smart.
It's smart, and the last thing you want is some kid passing out and passing away, and then several months later you're in a nice, comfortable courtroom and having to address why you didn't protect the kid.
Now, a lot more attention is being addressed. A lot more stuff is being addressed dealing with the protocol, as you say. How about on the legal field out there with the referees when they start calling penalties against so-and-so? Are there a lot more penalties to players and coaches and the coaching staffs? Are they paying a lot more attention to making sure their players are doing the right thing? Because ultimately you got people that are going to get hurt, and you've also got referees out there that are going to start penalizing people for doing something that's not supposed to do. Has there been an increased emphasis on making sure you're not attracting penalties, which is there to make sure you're safe? Yeah.
Well, and we all know, Rafer, that you love those penalties. The referees, they do a great job. They're all human too, so we all make mistakes. But they really do stress the importance of player safety.
Good.
And kids and coaches doing the right things, not showing their rear end. Look, in a competitive game, there's going to be a little bit of trash talking. There's going to be a little bit of intense moments, and that's when common sense prevails. The referees will do a good job of making sure that they don't take the intensity out of the game. But if a kid does things inappropriate and gets in another player's face after making a good play, you're gonna make that a penalty because that's uncalled for. But
yes, it is.
There's a lot of trash talk up in the stadium. I will tell you that.
With whom?
Just saying.
But if a kid makes a great play or scores a touchdown and he's by himself and he kind of flexes his muscles like he's looking like a strong man, because he's happy he scored. As long as he doesn't do it, rubbing in the face with the other team, I have no problem with it. But if you get in somebody's face and you start pointing at them, or you start, doing some inappropriate things, and that's where those things are uncalled for.
Don't egg on the other team. Go ahead and take a bow towards us, the fans in the stand, and we'll thank you for it.
Yeah.
How's
Oh,
that?
yes. I agree 100%.
Just say thank us for being here, and then go ahead and do your job. But don't get in the faces of other people. That's just flaunting it, and then they're going to come back mad.
And getting back to the refs, you said they were human beings. I do believe a couple of them were secretly robots, because every time you turned around,
Programmed by
it was like,
computer geeks.
yellow flag out, yellow flag drop, yellow flag out, yellow flag drop, just like a robot. I was like, God, how many flags do they have in their back pocket?
Too many.
Too many.
And Rayford, I've said this before on the air. I'll say it again because it's funny. So we all know that good old Judge Henry used to be a high school football referee.
Yeah, buddy.
So it was always so funny that the coaches have a little bit of leeway. They're the head coaches, and the referees give them a little bit of benefit of as long as they don't cross the line. They don't mind maybe getting their ears chewed here and there. But it was so funny. You hear one football coach, ref, that's a terrible call. Give us a call both ways. But anytime the conversations with Judge Henry was, great call, Judge, great call.
From what I've met Judge Henry before he was judge, when he was a lawyer for the Jacksonville PD way back when. He was a legal advisor there.
Yeah.
But I think for sources to remain anonymous, you might ask him about this one day when you see him, Chris. Sources indicate that during his days of refereeing, he kept a pad with him, and all of these people that gave him a lot of grief, he cross-referenced them for all the people coming before him as a judge, and his decisions were based upon several things. What do you think?
Yeah, and when he was at the bench, he threw out a yellow flag.
Oh yeah, you done?
Well, that's when they're writing down stuff. They're writing down who a player and the play. Yeah, he was writing down something else.
He's writing down who's up in the stands hollering at him.
Rayford, could you imagine being a coach saying something bad about the judge, and then 6 months later you got a speeding ticket, have to go before the judge?
Just
you walk
be
in
guilty and pay it off.
Judge Henry. Oh yeah.
That's one you'd be paying off real fast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Chris. Thank you, sir. Thanks for what you're doing. It's going to be a good year.
I just have one more question.
Oh,
Well, August 22nd, what game are you going to?
Well, I have two choices, and
No, you don't.
I haven't made the final decision yet, because there's White Oak and Northside playing each other,
Ooh.
and then there's Southwest and Richlands playing each other.
Ooh.
Southwest and Richlands both have new head coaches, so that's an intriguing game. But from a circulation standpoint, White Oak and Northside are a good game. So I'll have to see who can help me out, and see if I can get some help at one game, and kind of go from there. So Rayford, you know this as well as as well as anybody. You sometimes you base your coverage on one for one day based on what you can do the next day.
absolutely. So that's a tough call for, especially you don't have but so many people in your sports department. What you got down to about 10 now?
What?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not officially on his sports department,
But
I will help him whenever he needs help with scores from other games.
He's still got Trevor. Trevor will help him.
Trevor will help you. And and if you need anything from the picture department, the visual department, I'll help you. I'm not going to keep stats. I don't care.
The only stat you'll keep Rayford is how many penalties.
Oh yeah, I got those, and
We're very schooled in how to do that.
I've also got the tag numbers of the referees.
That's the 37th yellow flag. Really?
Me, I would just go back announcing games, football and basketball, just so I could go. And in the house with us tonight from the Jacksonville Daily News, Chris Miller.
There you go.
Yeah.
Papa Top. You got to do Papa Top again.
Papa Top.
And then the crowd will boo, and then I'll
right. You get the rousing applause when you're out there.
He does.
They boo. We're going to put them all on camera, on the cam, the big picture cam.
And then I'm gonna Photoshop them, and when they're kissing somebody, it won't be their wife that they're kissing by the time I get
That's
through
right.
with it.
We got your back.
I'll have Ann Margaret in there in the stands. Okay.
Ooh,
So
Okay.
that was her face, or that was her body that he used with Oprah on TV
Yeah, I'm
Guide
gonna head
years
out
ago.
before you get me in trouble. Right
All right,
Okay.
you
Okay.
take care, sir.
thanks, Chris.
I have a word.
Me too.
If we can, before the weather, there's two ladies that's made comments about
I didn't know.
football on Facebook.
Yes.
Wait, who? Oh,
Kathy
okay.
wants it to be the Cowboys and the Chiefs. So
Yeah.
she wants Cowboys and Indians, and then Susan mentioned
I
that
see that.
if Native Americans are okay with them being called
Redskins.
Redskins. they'll be called
Yeah.
Redskins.
Thank you, Susan and Kathy.
There was some what big sports league or headquarters or whatever are in Indianapolis. Oh God,
The Hall of Fame? Are you
No,
talking
is that-
about?
that's
The
not what.
That's in
Colts?
No,
Silverstone.
it's not a team. Anyway, there's an organization there. They came out a few years ago with something about we got to get away from this Indian using Native American names and all that sort of good stuff. This organization, I got to look it up again. I just dawned on me. They're in Indianapolis, Indiana. And they're making comments like that. I mean, think about it. That's
Yeah.
all right. Cold front is coming. It'll come across our waters here soon, sometime today. And it'll be in here a little bit more intense tomorrow. Cold fronts, they bring with them some changes in the weather, in addition to being a little cooler. When the temperatures change, the water things that happen like wind and surf and all that, they start to build as well. So that's one of the things you got to look at when there's going to be a change in the weather. As a result, offshore out to 20 nautical miles today is looking good. 2 footers, winds light 5 to 10. Sounds and rivers a light chop tomorrow. 10 to 15. See a slow build here. Seas pick it up a little bit, 2 to 4 instead of 2. Probably going to
Build
be
that
in
momentum.
the afternoon. Going to be building a little bit more. And on Saturday, northeasterly winds. Now you got a serious switch around from the southwest to the northeast. That's a serious switch. That's 180 degrees, pretty close. They're going to be 15 to 20 knots on Saturday.
Ooh.
Gust to 25 in the afternoon. 2 to 4 footers and building. Sounds and rivers, choppy.
Today will be partly sunny with a high near 93. Showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a low around 75. Friday, high near 90 with a 90% chance of rain and thunderstorms. And Saturday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy with a high near 84.
Yeah, well, again, for
Love
you
it.
folks that weren't up earlier this morning, we had some rain here this morning.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I was like, where did this come from? Generally, you get rain towards the afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. So this was very late evening or very early morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock in some of the areas. Out there at Southwest, I don't know what the final score was, but it was still raining when Randy was out there from the Amateur Radio Club, Onslow Amateur Radio Club. I think he had like 0.2 inches, or maybe it was less than that at the time, but it was still raining. Lee over in Back Swamp, that shower went through there. He got almost a half inch, 0.43 inches, and got nothing in Burrow. Joe down there in Burrow, it was warm, 78 degrees already. And then 4/10 of a rain there in River Bend area. And here we had 0.07 inches of rain during that same period of time. But we were on the edge of that system. So as I went through it.
And listening to all you gentlemen going back and forth this morning on the radio, I told you I was getting ready and looked out the window, and it was pouring rain, and I got 0.24 in just
I
that
was
few
gonna ask
minutes.
You got a quarter inch of rain.
I mean, it was
It's pretty
really
good.
probably in 10 minutes time max.
Maybe you drowned some of your moles.
I don't have many moles left. I haven't seen any tunnels at all. I have become the queen of moles.
No.
If you need,
They're all in my backyard. Trust me.
thank
Kathy
you.
and I are fighting this. Interesting. Go back to football for just a second.
Yes.
Last night on a program I was watching, a woman was asking a man, "Why do you call it football? You don't use your feet." Now, think about it. Soccer is
Right.
considered football because
Right.
they're using their feet. But in American football, other than punting and kicking, they don't use their feet. Why is it called football? Just
Don't have a clue.
and
I don't know. Why is it called football?
Football.
I'll get back to you tomorrow on that one. Rayford's got a story.
Because they did a
now.
lot. They did a lot of punting.
Oh, yeah.
there was a lot of punting,
Yeah.
and sometimes there were teams that would. They had third and long. They'd sneak a punt in because
Yeah.
they didn't have people downfield when they were up against the wall, and they'd
Oh,
sneak
it's
a
gonna
punt
make
in
me
on
crazy,
third
yeah.
and 20 or whatever. They just go ahead and punt then, because they didn't want to risk a chance of losing the ball way downfield, close to their goal. That was so. There was it used to be a lot of kicking games
Yeah.
involved. There's not as much in the way of kicking games today as there used to be in football.
All right. The name football can be traced back to two European cousins, soccer and rugby.
There you go. Well, yeah.
Two sports combined to became the game of football that we all love.
What?
Well, I knew it was soccer. I didn't know the rugby part.
I didn't realize the rugby part. I understood the soccer because over in like Australia,
Yeah.
don't they call it football?
Yeah,
Well, they call it football in Australia, down in the Caribbean. Soccer, which we call soccer, is a big deal in a lot of these places. So
Yeah.
they
Anyway.
soccer fields.
Well, basketball we understand. It's a ball and you're throwing it in a basket continuously. Football,
Thank you,
that
Dr.
was a,
Naismith.
that
Well,
was
they
a
call
pretty,
it dribble ball then because they dribble more than they throw it in the basket.
you can't dribble but so long
Yeah, you run out of dribble sooner or later.
before you get the whistle.
Then you got to chunk it in the basket or at the basket. Talk about a story that got bumped out of the lead this week. Tsunami.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
was
I had to search for it last night late. I mean, search for it.
did
Holy
you
crap.
watch any of the waves coming in?
Yeah, sort of, kind
It looked like an
like when the wind's blowing.
yeah. I'm like-
Well, the picture was there, was the thing.
Right.
And some of those waves that were coming in, there's some other way behind them could have made this a whole lot more worse than it was.
Yes. Much more worser.
That earthquake, it was number 6 in the world of recording earthquakes as being the top 6 in the world during recording times.
I just couldn't imagine.
When you talk about the tsunami,
Uh-huh.
here we go again with false news, false reporting, false things on Facebook. People had put out there that Oprah had closed her private road during the tsunami warning, and people were not being
That's
able to
right.
get to higher ground. It was not true. That the whole story was false.
Yeah, first of all, she wasn't even there.
Yeah, it's
And when they did find out about it, she called her estate manager and told him to open the road.
yeah, it's just
Oh, yeah,
It was
yeah.
closed.
what was
It's a private road.
it's a
owned by
private
her.
road, but she didn't close it to stop people, from going there. It's just it was always closed.
Where was
road.
this?
In Hawaii?
In Hawaii.
Yeah.
Hawaii.
They had 4 to 6 foot amplitude waves in parts of Hawaii.
Mhm.
Those are the big ones. They had 3.5 footer in Northern California.
And see, that's what man. And then I was watching a lot of the video feeds from earlier that they were replaying, and they were showing. They say you can see the water receding, or you can see the water rippling going out, and then you can see it coming back in. And I'm going like, we have had tropical storms that have given us higher waves than what they did. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, if it builds and builds and builds, they've got this thing called, they're using an amplitude equivalency now. They're using that word. They've got the normal heights, and you know how it is, like with sound waves coming through. You've got waves, right?
Right.
And they got waves out there. Now, when they get the peak of one of these waves is coming out there, if that if that tsunami wave comes in, a 4 to 6 footer in Hawaii at the top of an 8 to 10 footer that's already normal in Hawaii, whatever it is. If it goes up there, they had some peaks up there on a graph yesterday showing it. That was interesting.
Yes.
Then I understood why they're calling it amplitude. I'd never heard them refer to it as amplitude before, but that's what it looked like. It looked like a bunch of sound waves, and then a peak, you know how sound waves are, and then somebody hollers, hey, and how it shoots way up.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. Hope you weren't using earbuds. But it shoots way up.
Mhm.
Those were the tsunami waves when they came in. on
Yeah,
those peaks.
I was watching it night before last, and like they talked about the amplimeter. Is that what it was? What did you just call it?
It's amplitude, but I would have
Amplitude.
called it a video meter.
Yeah, they were showing that, and he was also coordinating with information coming from the buoys. And I mean, I learned a lot about
Yeah.
that the other night. Just what you're saying, it was very interesting.
Well, interesting enough, now they've got warnings for New Zealand
Do
because
Yeah.
New Zealand and China.
Yeah, that
Or
stuff
Chile,
was
Chile,
really.
Chile.
Chile.
It took a while. This is a long ways away, but it took
Right.
like 6 hours to go 3,500 miles. And I'm thinking,
Yes.
that's a long time. Where else can you go 3,500 miles in 6 hours? And this is on the ocean.
Yeah.
How would you like to be out there in the middle of that ocean and not have all these warnings? And you got a sailboat, and it's like, what the Sam Hill is that?
Well, I will tell you, when they talk about tsunamis, you always think of that 30, 50-foot wall of water coming, because that's what they depict on television, movies, and TV shows. And so when they said tsunami, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the same thing. But I told you, I learned a lot about it by watching this one fellow. And he was,
stalks.
and it's very good. He has no agenda, but he just doesn't do new. He pulls facts and figure. No,
Wow.
he's kind of geeky, but he's a very
But he's got a
smart
tight
man.
end.
He used to write for Seinfeld. But yeah, I learned so much. But when they talked about tsunami, I was waiting to see that 30-foot, 50-foot, 100-foot wave come in and drowned everybody. Because that's what you've always seen on TV.
Yeah.
No, it's wrong. It's not the way it works.
Okay, what else you got cooking?
Well, we have that another
Story
mean,
yesterday.
hate-filled person that threw gasoline on a Virginia
Yes.
councilman.
This happened in
And it's
Danville,
set 'em on
Virginia
fire.
Probably
yesterday.
had nothing to do with his status as a
Yeah.
councilman.
No.
Is that what
No.
I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Right.
But
I
I
tried to
don't
look
know.
at the good in all people. There's nothing. There's nothing good in that person.
This was a terrible crime.
it is
Danville
awful.
City Council member Lee Vogler,
A young guy.
39, of Danville, was working in the Showcase magazine office at about 11 a.m. our time when Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes, 29, of Danville, allegedly forced his way into the building carrying a 5-gallon bucket of gasoline. He poured the
Thanks for
gasoline.
doing something like that.
He poured the gasoline on Vogler as he tried to run to the front of the building, then lit him on fire. This must have had to be a personal thing. He is charged with attempted first-degree murder. Aggravated malicious wounding is just another charge that they have added to it. Vogler reportedly identified Hayes during the attack, helping authorities make a quick arrest after Hayes allegedly fled the scene. He was stopped a few blocks away and arrested without incident. Based on the investigation at the police release, the victim and the suspect are known to each other, and the attack stems from a personal matter not related to the victim's position on the city council. It was not political. It was personal. So,
Yeah. This guy was elected back in 2012. He was the youngest man ever to serve on the
Yes.
council at 24 years of age at that time.
mhm.
So he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
I just wonder what, if they're saying it was not council related, not government related, had nothing to do with anything except matters. I don't know what it was. I got to find out what the connection is between the two of them. I'm sure that they know by now.
I have thoughts in my head, but they're just thoughts. But
Who knows?
yeah.
But-
as exactly, who knows? We won't know until they
But,
come out
and
with
it
the
doesn't
facts.
really matter. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't,
Right.
I don't care what this guy has done. Even if he's a heinous murderer, we don't treat people that way in this country. We execute
shouldn't.
them humanely. Okay? If you do something like that,
What?
why in the world would he think that this would be appropriate to pour gasoline on a guy and set him on fire?
I mean,
That is
People
barbaric
have
at
got
best.
Perfect words. Perfect words. I mean, I just, when that story hit yesterday, and I was like, every day, a lot
I'm
of
trying to think,
issues.
what could you do to punish somebody like this? He's not going to be scarred for life. This other guy is if he lives. His medical condition is going to be awful because, you breathe in some of that stuff. The heat is down in your lungs. You're going to have scars inside and outside forever and ever and ever. And at age 39, hopefully he'll live till he's 90. But what is this other guy going to get? Assault with intent to kill.
Well, he's going to get more time
a,
than some of these people that we see that are illegal immigrants that go out and do something and let out on bond to do.
I don't know how much
3 or 4
time
more
he'll
ti-
get. Assault with a deadly
Yes.
weapon. I didn't mean to kill him. If I'd wanted to kill him, I would have shot him, Your Honor. So you can't charge me with assault with intent to kill. I did. I did assault him, but I had good cause. Your Honor, I had good cause. And then he'll lay out what the guy did at some point in time, and then 15 years he'll be out of prison if he serves that much. Do y'all want to put any money on that?
That's what I'm saying. That's just what our justice system needs, a whole new reform. But the problem
how
is,
can you punish somebody like this? It fits the bill of assault, even if it's with intent to kill.
right?
What is the punishment that we have for that? And should it be more? We can't say an eye for an eye because we're not going to douse this dude with gasoline and set him on fire. So what do you do for a guy like that?
The problem is we're not uniform state to state. The state is the one that sets all this stuff, not the federal government. They leave it to the state.
Any state that's got the most severe punishment for somebody that does this is going to be the same. It's not going to be very significant.
Well, we'll see.
Today, he would get the maximum penalty of 15 years or whatever it is in that state. But in 10 years, who are we? We won't even remember it in 10 years.
He could come out with a sad story like, this
But who?
guy stole my wife or something, stole my kids and my dog, and
No, they ran away from him.
and a jury could go for lesser charge. You never know what's
You
going
do
to happen.
not. In a year when he's tried?
Yeah, a year, 2 years.
We can't even get the cases of airplane crashes solved in that length of time.
Oh, speaking of that,
Yeah.
did you watch any of the hearing yesterday
Mm-hmm.
with the legislature, the committee, and the
SB.
NTSB
Yep.
over in reference to the crash in D.C. where the Army helicopter and the plane had a collision?
Yeah.
And evidence
Sure did.
came out that the helicopter was flying higher than what their instruments said.
Mhm.
Their instruments are telling them they're at 100 feet and they were much higher.
They were 200,
Mhm.
280 feet
Yes.
higher than what was said or where they should have
And
been.
they said this is not the first. They've had, 90 something close
Yeah.
calls in the
Mhm.
past?
That's
Same thing?
misses.
Yeah, well, interesting. It was I watched just a little bit of it because we had more or less already heard, but it was never really
Yeah.
confirmed. But they did confirm it yesterday.
Instruments, and I'm not a pilot. I just know
Mhm.
that the pilots, when I'm flying with a pilot, he's checking all this stuff and he's getting a reading
Mhm.
of because different places, wherever you are at a different airport, your altitude at certain airport, you want to know what the altitude is where you're flying, right?
Right.
It
Yeah.
may be 200 feet above sea level there, but on your instrument, it's going to show 200 feet above sea level is going to be on the ground. So you've got to adjust accordingly, and that's why they check and readjust their things. I don't know. I'm not a pilot.
Well, when I work out at the airport sometime for the Hope for Warriors and talk to them, there was a time when we didn't have
A tower.
a tower
Correct.
at Ellis Airport. It came from
Yes.
Wilmington. So Wilmington, which is 50 miles,
Yep.
was trying to give
The airport in
Information,
Jacksonville is
yeah.
at a different altitude than the airport in
Mhm.
Wilmington,
yeah.
if I remember correctly.
And so there was a time when Newark, I think, was doing all three, JFK, Newark, and Reagan, I think.
Probably.
Something I read.
Well, it was a tragic thing that happened, and I'm sure there'll be changes made. There already has been
Yep.
temporarily, but I'm sure that they'll get it figured out and they'll make changes to prevent that from happening again. And
Well,
10, 15,
honestly,
20 years from now, something else is going to happen.
I really, to me, it would make more sense than to having all of that commercial air traffic
Yes.
in downtown, because there are lots of flights that come in, and having it right downtown DC,
Uh-huh.
because wrecks happen near airports, takeoff and landings and everything. That's where most of the wrecks occur, right?
Right.
Why not have it that traffic going to one of the other airports that's further out? Or, well, you know what came out about that? Why? Because of all of the congressmen and women who fly in at the last minute so they can make it in time to go to the House or to the Senate. So
I
that,
can
that was one of the
understand that,
reasons they
yeah.
wanted it right there, so they could just jump off the
Right.
airplane, the car's waiting, zip me over there to headquarters, and I'll be good. Otherwise, they'd have to come in, make a commute, and it might take them an hour to get in. Leave an hour earlier.
Yes. I understand exactly what you're saying.
So for the sake of a few politicians,
Well, there's an old saying I like to use: the needs of the many outweigh the needs of a few.
except if they're political leaders, because they make the decisions.
What makes him so special?
Well, depends upon how you spell special and how you
You'd be
define.
doing the same thing if you were there.
What
I
else?
have a rant that I want to talk about.
I used to work with a guy named Rant.
You know, the
Sure.
go online and
Oh,
renew this or that and to help with the line. They gave you that option.
So tell us how that procedure is working out for you.
Well, something new to add to it.
How much is it going to cost me new?
Well, you know, there's always been a $3 transaction fee because you're paying with a credit or debit card online. They charge you the $3 fee, which I think is wrong personally. If it's a debit card, you should, because that's cash instant.
Well,
But
they do charge a little bit for that too.
they do. $3 was the transaction fee. All right. Now they've added on a card processing fee. Tell me what the difference is, please.
One of us that involve the expenses that they are charged by the card companies,
Which is a transaction fee.
as opposed to the processing fee that they got to have somebody to take this thing over here and to put it over here. Now, now hold on just a minute. Now, let me explain to you my thought about that.
Go right
Don't they
ahead.
have the same person over here working at the office doing the same thing? They don't charge you for that person over there any extra, do you?
No. So the fees in order to pay it online were $11.43. Now, do you pay the $11.43 or do you go sit in line for a couple hours at DMV to get your plate
Mail it
ready?
in.
Well,
Use the post office.
let me tell you.
Well, that's gotten just as expensive, 78 cents for a stamp.
Can I?
For $11?
Okay, so that to add on to your rant, let me do mine.
All right.
So going on the base, and they have an MP, checking your ID to make sure you can come on. Then they have one standing behind to check your license plate and your expiration. So 3 months after mine had expired, the guy was very nice enough. The MP came up and said, "Your tags are expired. We're not going to do anything to you." Yada yada yada. So. And I'm very good at getting all 4 vehicles tags done, with the inspection done, to pay the taxes on it, yada. Never got anything. So
No notice?
no notice.
Ooh.
No notice. So DMV locally blamed it on
It was lost in the
DMV
mail.
in Raleigh, who then blamed it on the mail
post
service.
office. It's always the post office.
Yet I still had to pay the $39 penalty fee to the county for late on taxes.
Whoa.
And the county said it was not They have nothing to do with it.
We have nothing to do with it. We have a contract
It's
company
not
that
our
collects the
fault.
taxes.
It's not my fault. It's not their fault. Blame it on somebody else.
Well, it's in the
They
Division
work
of
for the
Motor
CIA,
Vehicles.
don't they? Because that's what the CIA. That's the way they work. They admit it.
Well, see, you know what's funny is after I went through that yesterday and got aggravated over and I have all my receipts to show everything's been paid, which is in my truck. So if I get stopped next week because I don't have my sticker yet, I was like, it's all paid. I'm just waiting on it. Okay. Then I read this story last night and I got so irritated. An estimated 300,000 North Carolinians will be able to avoid a trip to the Division of Motor Vehicles each year under a bill that has been approved by the House lawmakers on Wednesday. Senate Bill 245 would allow residents to renew a license or identification card 2 consecutive times online as long as their credentials is not a real ID. This means someone who gets a standard driver's license good for 8 years could go 24 years without having to return to a DMV office. Under current law, drivers must renew in person at the DMV every 16 years. Okay, this excludes the real ID, because the real ID you have to go in person.
But if you've already got the real ID.
But no, you still have to. You have to go in person to renew your real ID. That's
Really?
what it is. Yeah, but if they can do this, why can't I renew that teeny little sticker without having to pay an extra $11.43? Why?
What's so special about the real ID that I got to go in?
Because
They want a new picture, don't they?
No, they just
I'll give them one.
and maybe the full provisional licensing in-person visit has been largely perfunctory to prove to DMV that the final
What did
log.
she say?
Yeah,
Function,
that was
sorry.
word of the day. Final log has been completed into complete other paperwork. Completing that paperwork online rather than in person won't impact traffic safety. No, but this is a contracted agency of the state of North Carolina, correct? Correct?
Out here.
Yep.
Yes.
All right. So why are
But they're not state
we?
employees.
Why? Right, they're a contracted agency, but the $3 I understand. But Senator Lazar, why am I paying an extra $8.43?
Well, that's not out here. That's at Raleigh.
Why am I paying it?
Mm-hmm.
So that they don't have to add more employees out here.
But it is impacting the traffic here because when it comes time, it's all the way backed up on Country
Right.
Club Road past the mall turn-in.
Chris, let's go that way this morning when we leave. You
Mhm.
usually go that way. I go the other way.
Yeah.
I'm going that way. I want to see how long the line is.
So
I do my part by doing it online so as to not to add to the congestion, and it costs me extra money.
I think you need to stop today and go in there and collect from all these people that are in line. I'm $1 each, so let me 11 people out here.
Yeah, I need 11
And,
people.
I'll let y'all pay an extra $1 because I had to pay $11 so that I didn't have to stand in line and block your way even more.
I do
That
appreciate
works, doesn't it?
this bill that they're doing, and it is trying to reduce the wait times and the long lines at driver's license offices. That I'm just really, I approve. I think it's good that they're trying to do everything that they can to help reduce wait time and make it easier on people. But it just irritated me I knew there was always a $3 fee for doing it online, but it just irritated me that we added more fees on.
We'll try to get somebody in here to try to explain that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And we won't ask a lot of.
Yeah. Like bring
Demeaning
my
questions,
$8.43 with you.
Okay, so we don't know. We do know that Abraham Lincoln was shot on April 14th, 1865, right?
We still trying to figure that one out.
That's the date in
Right.
history. I know it for a fact. And he died the next day, April
Right.
15th, which became tax day later on. And we know that in November of 1963, John Fitzgerald Kennedy was shot and killed.
Mhm. Right.
We're still trying to figure out stuff from that, right? We also know that a
Right.
few years later, I think it was in '68, that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was shot.
Yes, yes.
Robert F. Kennedy, was he a junior?
No.
Junior
No.
is today.
Juniors.
Juniors today, right?
Robert F. Kennedy was shot and killed
Right.
while campaigning out there in California. I wonder how Mr. Sirhan's doing these days. We know that a lot of stuff like that has happened. We know that Dr. Martin Luther King was shot and killed in Tennessee, Memphis. Right?
Right.
What happened on this date
What happened on this
in
date?
1975?
7/31.
July 31st of
It
75.
was just a little missing persons report was filed, but it hasn't been solved. yet.
Jimmy Hoffa.
I didn't know the date. I don't
So
remember.
you know
the
what
date
happened
on
to
that.
Jimmy Hoffa? You seem to know that date pretty well there all of a sudden. Bud.
Concrete.
Where's my Miranda? Oh, I don't have to use that anymore. Go ahead.
You have the right to remain silent.
Where were you at that date?
In 75?
Yeah, were you driving a car somewhere?
I was in the library at Jacksonville High School.
You got any witnesses?
No, you weren't. School was out. It was summer vacation.
I had to go to summer school.
So you were already caught in a lie. That was the first of many. No, in 1975, July 31st, on this day, James Riddle, I didn't know his middle name was Riddle. I knew it was James Riddle Hoffa, one of the most influential and probably notorious American labor leaders of the 20th century, officially reported missing after he failed to return home the previous night. It's pretty well believed that he's the victim of a mafia hit, but there's never been any evidence to lead anybody to officially make that a claim. Can do it.
My goodness.
What evidence is there?
What a riddle.
They get rid of evidence.
That's his middle name.
What a riddle.
He was born the son of a coal miner family in Brazil, Indiana, 1913. He worked his way up, and there were lots of things that happened under the Teamsters in those days that probably, one of the better mafia-controlled organizations, along with the dock workers, there's ever been.
We don't like to use that word.
What?
That M word. It's called a club.
Yep. It is a club. Yeah, I got involved in those down in.
Sorry, go ahead.
Tell you one thing: when you get ready to, a ship's coming in that has to be unloaded, and those ships, when they dock, they start paying rent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
And it docks at 11 o'clock. Well, they're going to take a noon break, but that dock at 11 o'clock is tied up, and it's close enough. We can't get started on this till after lunch, and they'll sit around and wait for lunch, and then they go on the clock as being off the clock. Then they come back and spend some time getting ready. I've watched them do it. Come on. Talk about a slowdown. The slowdown is every day. Ooh. And if there's any chance to get overtime, they will take advantage of that opportunity.
Sure.
Those ships try to get in and out as quickly as possible. That's one of the reasons you'll find a bunch of them staged offshore.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have room at the port,
Yeah.
they're not going to come upriver and wait. They got dock space here. They could tie up, but the minute they make landfall, they're on the clock, and that meter is running. And if they got a breakdown in equipment, or they got this or that, oh Lord, you're still on the clock. Sorry, That's the way it is. Cost of doing business, y'all. Okie dokie.
There's your $8 and something cents.
There you go.
$8.43 back.
She's got it down to the
I
penny.
went to a couple of those union meetings for the dock workers when they were talking about striking
Yes.
in Wilmington.
Yeah.
I went there to cover them. I'll tell you what, I was so out of place. It was just not even funny. Big burly guys over there, and they're all like, what you want?
Oh man, we had to work security on the line with the telephone company. When the telephone company
Yeah.
went on strike, whoo, those
About being
people
a-
get serious.
You ever been to a Pickett's? There was one at the crane company in Wilmington. I don't forget, went out there, and we parked quite a distance away because there were people who were driving there that were the scabs,
Right.
and there were lots of roofing tacks along the road entering the building. You know,
Yeah,
the
well, we
company.
always parked way down this.
So, you know, they finally got some guys out there with magnets, and these were scab. There was a management and lower management and everything. They're out there with magnets picking stuff up constantly. There's plenty more where that came from. I can hear them saying. So anyway, sometimes these things got vicious.
Yeah.
Okay, we tomorrow we'll be back in here, and we have
His
His
Honor
Honor.
Mayor
His Honor.
of Swansboro.
Swansboro. We'll find out what things are going in Swansboro in the morning,
Right.
and the friendly city by the sea.
You betcha.
It has been that way forever, and it remains that way. It's got small town charm, hometown feelings, and is growing.
Growing by leaps and
And it's
bounds.
not quite as small as it used to be.
But if you go downtown,
it's still the same.
it's still
Yes.
And actually,
The
they've
old
got
shops.
it. I'm impressed. Maybe I shouldn't tell anybody how to get. You can get into the town, no
Mhm.
problem.
Mhm.
Getting out and back on 24 sometimes could be a challenge, shall we say? But I've got the route. I've
a
got
right,
it mapped
make a right.
out.
Make a right. Just
Well,
full circle. It's easy.
Well, you get out, but there's a one light out there,
Mhm.
and one of the places just west of Swansboro, west of the main entrance downtown. You can get out there, and there's a light that lets you. It will turn, and it's a short light, whenever on demand, and you can get out there in a hurry.
you betcha.
I can get in and out real easy. It's good.
Yeah, you just have to know the lights and the cycles and the back roads. I take a lot of back
and
roads.
the one way.
the one way
Well,
streets. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting now because the developers for Flybridge have put in another request to build in Swansboro only. They're looking at different property.
Flybridge.
So yeah, Flybridge. That was a big thing a couple months ago. They were wanting to build some apartments in retail areas, and a lot of people from Swansboro went to the meeting and talked against it, and the commissioners ended up voting against it. Not
they're
all of
coming
them, but the majority. So now they're back with a different proposal. So we get to talk to the mayor about that. Plus the fact that the Swansboro commissioners, the city of Swansboro, have put in a bid on some property owned by the Rotary over behind the Rotary that they're thinking about putting their new EOC center there. So we'll get the
I
scoop
thought they
on
were going
that.
to put it out a little bit further west, so because so many of the calls, the vast majority of the
Well,
calls were.
I think that's
on that
what
side
the
of town.
Onslow County commissioners were setting up with a parcel that was over there closer. It would benefit Hubert at the same time it would benefit Swansboro. But the Swansboro town didn't quite like that piece
No, they
of
didn't
property.
like that at all.
So
Okay.
we'll get the scoop.
Ooh.
We get the
We're gonna get the
we get
scoop.
lowdown tomorrow.
That's right.
Mayor Bill Justice from Swansboro, I
Yes.
guess, and that comes at 8
A
o'clock in the morning.
Jacksonville
looks that
High
way.
School Cardinal graduate. Yes, go Cards.
Yeah, okay, but he's probably a newbie. I wouldn't remember him.
He was closer to my class. And found out as we were talking that we were in youth fellowship together at Trinity Methodist. And we had, he knew my dad really well, and he knows my brother. And found out that our paths have crossed so often
Good.
growing up.
You need to step out for a couple minutes while I ask him a few questions. We'll see you in the morning. You're live and local Real Talk, where we're always awake, never woke. Have a great rest of your day. We'll
Have a
see you on
blessed day.
Friday.